Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next live stream on YouTube. So hopefully this is recording okay. I'm once again out in the garden. It is once again very warm. Please pop in the comments below, maybe where you're from, sort of how everything's going for you, what the weather's like. Pretty exciting. So just going to follow the usual structure today, basically, in a sense that I'm going to have a conversation with you guys. I know some of you guys have asked some questions as well across social media, so I'm going to go through and ask those as well. And we'll just have a bit of fun, bit of a hangout time. So it should all be good. And just before we get started properly, not that there really is a starting, because there's no sort of agenda with this. I just want to give a massive thank you, as always, to the Patreons who support Spend More Time in the Wild. I couldn't be doing this without the continued support of those guys. So thank you again to the Patreons. I think we've got over 80 Patrons now, which is amazing. Really safe online space for people to get involved. Hey guys, thanks for saying hi. Really good to see everybody joining in. I got a little worried when that was all quiet, so it's nice to see some conversation going on. The dogs are wandering around right now, also definitely dealing with the heat. So we got a thermometer. The thermometer says it's 24 degrees in the sun, so that's not bad, is it? Approximately 12 degrees over my ideal temperature. Sorry, Penny is stuck in the wire. Penny, you know not to get stuck in the wire. Foot, move your foot. Right. There we go. Okay, free the dog. All good. With regards to Patreon, if you get anything out of the videos that I put out, if you find you're inspired or empowered or, just you enjoy interacting, if you're enjoying these live sessions, please do consider joining our Patreon community. There's the link just there. Anybody can join for as little as $3 a month, and it is dollars at the moment, but pretty soon Patreon are going to put the choice out to change it to pounds, which would be really exciting. But basically, we've got a lot of different things going on within Patreon, from basically like live sessions. I do a full-on, like very sort of chilled out one-to-one session, live session every month. We do one-to-one sessions. There's an opportunity for people to submit their questions and video requests. There's a Facebook group. We're full of awesome stuff. We've got a bit of photography things going on there at the moment. We've got book club. There's opportunity to get merchandise as well. So there's lots of different things going on there. So that's Patreon anyway. Just wanted to obviously give that a bit of a plug because I couldn't be doing this without Patreon. So thank you very much to all the Patreons in our world. Finally found the high five song with Bobby. Did I send that to you? The high five song with Bobby. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a fun video. Anyway, it's good to see so many of you guys are joining in, which is fantastic. Peter, thank you so much for your donation then straight away. That's amazing. Anyway, so we today, I haven't really got an agenda. Last time I had a few things I wanted to sort of plug, but before we get started, I'm going to be saying that all the way an hour later. Before we get started, I just would love a favor from all you guys, and I'm going to put this in at the end, but it'd be super, super cool. Oh, why did I not wear my Stay Wild shirt today? It's a little bit last minute getting ready for this. But I was going to say, what would be super cool, guys, is if you guys have got your phone near you right now to basically take a picture of the screen that you can see and to share that across your social media pages and just say, if you want to connect with nature during these difficult times, then please check out Abbie Barnes /Songfresh, Spend More Time in the Wild. So basically tag in my social page. So whether you do that on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, basically right now, take a picture of the screen. I'll be waving. So there you go. Take a picture at any point during this conversation. Pop it on your socials. Just give Wild a little bit of a plug. Let's try and get some traction. Try and get people on board so we can share the positive message that we're doing here, talking about mental and physical health. And I think right now these conversations are even more important. Talking about community as well, which we're really trying to do with Wild. It's super cool. Dan, thank you so much for your donation then as well. Yes, I can't wait for our next walks. I was looking through the photos this afternoon. I've been trying to work on a project and I needed to get some pictures, and looking back through the pictures of this year's walks and last year's walks, and super pumped, to be back on the trail with you guys. So anyway, what was the other thing I was going to say? Great Garden Campouts. So who joined in on the Great Garden Campout? Let me know on the side if you guys joined in, because I don't know about you, but I had a bit of a blast. Really good fun. Just basically camping out under the stars, having a nice fire. So that was all really good. Really enjoy these conversations. I'm enjoying actually the creative time that's come from this sort of enforced sort of stay put kind of time. I'm not going to lie, like with the weather that we've had, if we were not under social isolation restrictions, it would have been, these times would just be insane for me right now. I would be every day out and about on the trail, making films, editing, doing all sorts of different things. It would have been pretty heavy. So I'm in a way, obviously I appreciate that, you know, these are very difficult times for a lot of people financially, you know, in all sorts of different ways, losing loved ones, but they're also special in a way because they're giving us an opportunity to sort of pause and for me to create, which is cool. And I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying every single day trying to challenge my perspective, connecting with people, connecting with you guys, and just love it. So there we go. It's taking 5 minutes for me just to spiel on about stuff. Craig, if you don't have a garden, no worries. We had a lot of people who, with the Great Garden Campout, they built pillow forts and like used towels and things, and it's so cool seeing those pictures. So essentially what I was getting at with the Great Garden Campout, my little ramble, is it was such a success that we've decided to do it again. Great Garden Campout round 2. So please feel free to join us. It's on the 18th of April. Super pumped. Just put up a little video this morning. Head on to my website and you'll be able to see about the Great Garden Campout on there. More information. Please, if you're on Facebook, join the Facebook group. Fantastic community there. Lots of picture sharing, lots of good stuff. So yeah, please feel free to join the Facebook group and watch out on my socials. More information will be coming up on there very soon. I like that you like the idea of a pillow fort. I know, I think I'm going to do a pillow fort. I think what we'll do is we'll do in winter, we'll do the Great Pillow Fort, I don't know, convention. Just like, we'll just build forts because forts are the best, right? Like, I mean, tents are good, but forts are another level. Anyway, so basically today, as always, super chilled. And if anyone's got any, not sure if, if you can't wait to the 18th, no worries. People are still camping out. Some people are literally trying to camp out for the entire 12 weeks. So if you're one of those people, please feel free to join the group, post some pictures, get conversation going, ask questions, share the love. Let's do this thing. Yes, so basically today, super chilled, as always, just got some questions. There's some questions on Facebook that I'm just going to address because I did put a post out this morning. The answer to the question that I posed is how old was I in the picture? I was 17 years old. I was making a film on the Quantock Hills. It's an area of outstanding natural beauty. So there you go. Whoever guessed that, congratulations, you win. Nothing. I'm sorry. I have nothing to give you. I don't feel very prepared today. I'm not going to lie. I've just been head down trying to promote the second Great Garden Campout. And we've also got a very big project potentially launching next week. And oh my gosh, I'm so freaking pumped about this. Like, it's so exciting, Bobby. Just Bobby wants to say hi. He's just had a haircut. Oh, there he is. You're going to say hi. He loves the sunshine. We're walking on sunshine. It's a bit hot, isn't it? Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay, that's Bobby's entry. So yes, so we've got this big project coming out on Monday, so please stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, don't forget, take a picture of this live screen, share it on socials, tag, spend more time in the wild. Let's get some conversation going. Let's build a community. Right, so questions. If you have questions, please pop them on the side below. Comment. Is it the side below? What the flip? Pop it on the side. Is it on the side for you guys? It's on the side for me. The like conversation and things. So meanwhile, I'm just going to jump quickly onto Facebook because I know I had a couple of questions on there. As I said, totally unprepared. Should have got this up earlier. In case you're wondering why I'm looking down, my phone is here. And actually, do you know what? I can take a picture of you guys. That's fun, isn't it? I need to make that brighter. Oh, mate, living a dream. Actually, no, that was a picture of me taking a picture of myself. That's not so good. Oh, well, it's done. Right, let's have a look. So, questions from the people. Hang on a minute. We're getting there. I know there was something about, was it socks or was that a different day? I'm losing track. I'm doing quite a lot of these live streams at the moment. With YouTube, with Patreon. I do one-to-ones as well. Lots of questions, and it's just like, what are the questions? I'm trying to remember. So let's have a look, shall we? Okay, I'm going to start from the bottom and work up because why not? So, what's your favorite long distance walk, Abbie? And that's from Angela Harvey on Facebook. Favorite long distance walk is a very difficult question, my friend. I like many walks. I like walking. I like long distance walking. My favorite, I don't know. I think the thing is, man, like every trail is obviously different because they're different. But the experience you have on a trail obviously changes every time. And I think it's not sometimes even the trail that I hold close. It's the experience I had on the trail. And that's often what I find myself reflecting on is the like emotional journey that I went through when I'm out on the trail. So if I'm honest, I don't have a specific favorite. They all have caused me to fall on my knees in gratitude, and I just love the trail, man. Actually, I was not gonna lie, I felt a bit tentative about this live session today, because obviously it's about hiking and stuff, and like I've just been writing an article for the Country Walking magazine, due to come out in there's a bee. Can you see the bee? Bumblebee. Due to come out in June, and I sort of reflected actually quite a lot on the experience that I've been having with regards to the whole lockdown situation, and the fears and anxieties that I have been going through, that I think are very similar to everybody else. And it's been quite an experience, sort of actually allowing myself to look inwards, because it was a very quick sort of turnaround for me. With the situation, and losing all my work, and the entire year is now empty. I had all the trails mapped out and everything, and now there's like nothing. But I was like, very quickly, right, how can I make the best of the situation, and looking at that mindset. But I haven't since really actually properly digested the sort of negative stuff that's been going on inside. And it was quite good to do that. But at the same time, I've had to really own the fact that I am definitely going through a process of grief, if you want to call it that, just really longing for the trail. So that's not even a question that somebody's asked. There's one on the side, so I'm going to jump on that quickly. If we set up a GoFundMe, would you travel to the States and hit some trails once the safe has got flip? Yes, I'd do that. That's not even a question. That's just like Abbie. Let's go. Yeah, man, that would be amazing. Obviously, the States is there's a lot of trails in the States I'd love to explore. We talk about that almost every session. I've grown up reading about the PCT and the AT. They are on my heart. Part of me is like scared to own the fact that someday I'll do them, because I just know the thing is with the trail, you go on the trail as like, say take a trail. I'm going to go onto the trail right now, pack my bag, probably not with the waistcoat on, but with a rucksack. And you just never come off the same person. And it's like, you come back to the trail and you're just a slightly different shape in a sense that, your puzzle size changes, and you have to try and slot back into society and work out how you can fit in. And dealing with like post-expedition blues and things is a very, very real situation as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is going to the States would just be amazing. I feel excited, as excited as scared of the idea of doing a really long trail, because I just know that I'd have to really face myself. And I love that idea. I love that idea of I'm so interested in personal growth and finding out who I am inside, and digging down deep and being able to share that with the world, and hopefully empowering other people to do that as well. Because I feel like a lot of life is just for us spent. I think we can use our lives a lot to unpick who we really are. And when we do that, it's very important that we share that outwards. So I'm really rambling today. I've been alone for too long. Okay, so just have a quick look, scrolling back up. So I'm in line with this plant. Go away, plant. Nature. Did you record Kilimanjaro? Yes, I did. That was for a documentary film. And actually, yesterday morning, I just shot some stuff. I'm going to do a piece sort of reflecting on my Kilimanjaro experience from 2014. So you can find out about that pretty soon. Any plans to do the Cape Wrath in the future? I think you would enjoy and would like to see you experience it. Yes, that was potentially... It is potentially, well, of course it's in the future. Everything's in the future. Although, is there a future? There's only really right here and right now. But yes, Cape Wrath is of interest to me, definitely. Watch this space. That's what I have to say. We loved your bird feeder session. You are inspiring, and this is just what we need to still feel connected. We're feeling the same, longing for our hikes. Yeah, man. Everyone's longing for the hikes, dude. Oh, man. Like... the trails are going to be so overgrown with all the bracken and stuff. And there's going to be more ticks. But I was like, well, adventure time, right? Adventures 101. So, yes. Anyway, thank you for that comment. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoyed the feeding birds thing. As I said, I filmed that last year, and I held it back because it wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. But actually, the information is relevant, so I put it up, and seems to have helped people, which is awesome. I've got highlighted one there. I've been hiking. It's very easy to hide from the fleas in the countryside. That's encouraging. Thanks for letting me know. Trouble is, I'm quite identifiable, the hat and all that. If I take off the hat, that's secretly how I dive into a different different personality. How would you set about filming the PCT? Same way I film everything. Lots of batteries, lots of ability to charge. Obviously, a PCT, you hitch into towns. I'd be very conscious of that. And of course, I would film it. No questions asked. I have a big vision with my filming life. I really want to up my game thing. And actually, part of what I struggle with on the trail is I'm just tired all the time and dealing with my head and the stuff that goes on there. And that, of course, really impacts how much I film, how well I can communicate to camera, how much energy I have. And more I'm thinking about how can I really prioritize looking after my mental and physical health when I'm on the trail, because naturally then that filters into my creativity and the expression that I can, or the way I can express the journey that I'm doing on the trail. So how would I film it practically is one way, but also how I film it sort of emotionally, spiritually almost as well is another way. So I reflect on that a lot. I write things down occasionally to reflect on them again. So Anne saying free cottage available to you anytime. Oh yes, thanks Anne, that would be really fun. I definitely need to come visit you. There's so many people. Do you know, maybe we should just do a wild tour, just like, I wanted to say get a car, but I feel like I'd probably have to cycle just because, you know. All right, let's have a look. What's your favorite walk on Dartmoor? Favorite walk on Dartmoor. I do like checking out Grimspound, although it's quite. Dartmoor is a very like. What's the word? I want to say atmospheric, but that's not quite the word. It's like I feel like I have like a sixth sense, and some places just feel quite mysterious. Obviously, there's a lot of prehistory in places like Dartmoor, and I think I just kind of pick up on that. Dartmoor. I do enjoy the little 4 or 5 mile loop that we've got that many people do from Fingalbridge up to Castle Droga and round. That's really good fun. Mostly because happy memories, lots of wildlife. The dogs loved it. They can't quite manage that far anymore, which is very sad. But that's a special loop for me as well. All right, let's have a look. Oh, we got a bit of an argument going on. Come on, people, no arguments here. This is a happy space. If you can't be kind and calm, then just it's not cool, you know. Somebody actually put actually there's something I wanted to talk about. Let's have a quick discussion about this, because why not? You know, as a YouTuber, I put myself out there, and as most of you guys know, I've not really got too many filters, and I just try and be as authentic, as honest as possible. These sessions right here are just like hanging out with friends. You know, it's chilled, and that's what I want with the whole channel. Is it's a safe space for people, of course, with the mission and the as in mission statement with what we're trying to do. You know, we're putting ourselves, I'm putting myself out there as and openly talking about my mental health journey more and more. You know, and it brings in people who are also struggling with stuff, and I think it's really important, and I try and sort of drop this in every video, that we keep this as a safe and supportive space, and there's only space for people who can be kind and considerate and empathetic. If not, then you're definitely on the wrong channel. For me, you know, I obviously can see all the stats behind the videos, and for example, you know, I'll put a video out every Monday, a little bit more often at the moment. And there's somebody who, without fail, every time within 5 minutes the video's gone up, has disliked it. So even if it's an hour-long video, they wouldn't have watched it, it's disliked. So somebody's therefore following to dislike the content. And I want to personally address that person and just say, I see you, I appreciate you, thank you for checking in with Wild. And I just want to say, I feel like you could probably be using your energy a little bit better in the world. I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in negative cycles, in things that we don't like, and put our energy into that. But actually, that's not what we're here for. And I understand as humans, our biology is actually often intertwined in focusing on the negative, because we're here to survive. And we've still got a lot of primal instincts within us to help us to focus on the threats. But if we can be mindful and we can be aware of how we're feeling and when things agitate us, then we can choose to actually not necessarily set our focus on those things, but to turn 180 and put our energy into things that we are passionate about, because we can make a big difference if we put our energy into the things that we're passionate about. So, for example, I'm passionate about the unsustainable production of palm oil. Sorry about this motorbike. So I could either put my energy into tackling the people who say, well, it doesn't matter, we need palm oil, it's a cheap product, GDPR and all of that. Or I could put my energy into just conversing about it, making personal choices as to what I buy and don't buy. So essentially, every day we choose how we live. The way we spend our money, the conversations that we have influence the planet around us. And I think we have a lot bigger impact than we expect. So that's just my little spiel on that. Do you ever cycle? Russell asks. Yes, I cycle. I do enjoy cycling. It's good. I'm trying to cycle a lot more at the moment, as obviously can't travel very far. So cycling is a really good way to get out. Okay, I'm talking about a lot of different things right now, and I don't know where I am or what I'm doing. Need some grounding and breathe. Actually, here we go. Water break. Sorry about, I don't know if you can hear Bobby coughing. He's got a really bad cough at the moment. Karen, Lidford Gorge. That's a good place as well. I do like Lidford Gorge on Dartmoor. Please, can you mention Abbie, who loves your dogs? Oh, hi, Abbie. Thanks for loving my dogs. You inspire a lot of people to get out. Who inspires you? Oh, that's such a good question. Also, that was very... Yes. Who inspires me? I am so freaking inspired. So easily inspired. Oh, it's hot outside. Who am I inspired by? I've mentioned, see, again, I've done so many of these conversations. On the Patreon conversation we had last week, I was talking a lot about the people who have inspired me recently. And I make a point to check in with the people that inspire me almost daily. They're people I don't necessarily know personally either. So, Bobby, you need to go get a drink. People like, are you ready for this? Brené Brown. She freaking inspires me every single day. #1 fan of Brené Brown. I need like a Brené Brown t-shirt. She's a shame researcher. She's written lots of books. If you're interested in finding out more about her, you can check out her TED Talks on YouTube. Have a look at her website. She's also just lots of podcasts, which is the best thing ever. Boy, go get some water. Who else have we got? People like Glennon Doyle, Elizabeth Gilbert. They're all authors. They really inspire me. The people I listen to on the podcast inspire me. And essentially, I do give myself permission to call these people my mentors because they live as I would like to live. They are selfless. They are generous. They are considerate. They live wholeheartedly and fearlessly, and they are very bold women. They're courageous, and in living true to themselves, they inspire and empower me to live true to myself. And coming full circle with the conversation I was just having about putting myself out there as a YouTuber, and I do get negative things. I get some very personal messages from people addressing, for example, how I dress, how I talk, the things I'm interested in, even things like, my sexuality, just completely irrelevant things that are nothing to do with spend more time in the wild. Some things that can really bother me. And that's the reason why, for example, I don't have notifications on my phone, because these things can come through at any given moment. And I want to live as present as I can. I don't want these things just pinging up and then impacting me. They do impact me. But rule #1, if you've not got your official name on a message or however you're contacting me in a tag or a post or whatever, I'm not going to engage with you because you're not showing up. You are hidden behind a wall. And I'm the one in the arena right now who's trying to put my heart out there into the world. And because I love you guys, I'm passionate about you guys, I want to do life with you guys. And if someone's like going to throw stuff at me, then I'm not even going to look. I'm just not interested. I don't want to put my attention in the negative space. I want to keep it in the positive space. #2, coming back to the arena. We are also all in the arena together. By being part of this conversation, by following Wild, you guys are standing with me, and I feel you every single day. I wake up and I can't tell you, I think about you guys a lot. And the blessing for me at this current situation with the virus is it's opened up the possibility for me to interact with you guys even more. And I feel so grateful for that, and that you guys are showing up by being here in these conversations or watching them a little bit later. The Great Garden Campout, I have no doubt that the next project we're going to launch next week, you guys are going to be cheering me on. And you're not just cheering me on, and you're not just cheering Wild on, you're cheering on everybody else who is passionate about sparking conversations about mental and physical health. You guys are changing lives just by being here, and I just want to say thank you for being the change, because this is all we've got right here and right now. So let's do the best we can. How are you coping not being able to get out yourself at the moment? I am coping in 3 different ways. One day it can look like just lying on the bed, unable to move, and just trying to keep myself safe. That's the honest truth. That's some days how I get through it. Just trying to converse with a couple of close people in my life and do the best that I can that day, which can just sometimes be walking the dogs. Other days, I'm trying to, basically keep myself as physically active as possible. Although the sun is a little bit intimidating for me. But yeah, trying to just move my body every single day. That's really, really helping me. It's giving me a focus. I really enjoy moving my body anyway, so that's all good. And then the third thing is essentially by being outside as much as possible. So yes, there's the like one outside rule thing. But, you know, I'm just trying to make it quite a long time outside. So, you know, reasonably good length walks just from the house, you know, through the fields. I'm trying to be mindful of the small things, the blossoms, and oh my gosh, all the beautiful flowers that are coming out right now. You know, watching the birds, reconnecting with just foraging and essentially like, I don't know, life's not too different for me really. But yeah, I'm trying to, for example, we talked about cycling, get outside cycling more, which is cool. So I'm doing that. Oh my gosh, I'm really behind. Ash loves Brandy Brown. Whoop, whoop, Brandy Brown. Brandy Brown's the best. Where's your favorite place to camp in the lakes? I only camp in one place. Anna, close the circle. Yes, I closed the circle, Anna. That's how far up the conversation I am. Yes, favorite place. I usually camp at Castle Rock campsites just because it's a beautiful view. And if the weather's good, you get epic sunsets. But that's if I'm there with my car. Oh man, that is warm. And if I'm not there with my car, then I stay at places like Seathwaite's beautiful, Patterdale's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's all beautiful. I have to admit it's on my list to wild camp near Angleton though, so watch this space. Coming through, trying to scroll down, catch up. What's the one smell that makes you feel like it's summer? Smells have a lot of connection to memory recall. They do. Mine is the smell of pine trees warming in the sun. It takes me back to great memories. Pine trees, beautiful pine trees. Pine trees take me to Scotland, actually. Whew, one smell that reminds me of summer. Freshly cut grass is one that comes to mind, but it's grass blood and I don't want to own that. Sun, go away. What else reminds me of summer? Blossom, even though that's spring, so that doesn't count. I haven't really got one for summer, to be honest, because usually in the summer I'm traveling a lot, so it varies. But I do totally appreciate what you're saying about smells. Sorry, I have a towel up there and it's moving because it's a slight breeze, which I am grateful for. Let's have a look. Oh, it's jumped. Favorite Dartmoor walk at Bellstone. Bellstone's cool. Beer to Seatown route. It's a good route. For the mind, do you ever listen to Alan Watts? No, I've heard of that. I need to check that out. When on trail, I feel like an old person. I need some glasses. Binoculars, actually. When on the trail, do you prefer an inflatable sleeping mat or roll mat? I only use a roll mat. Well, they're kind of the same thing in my mind. But yeah, I use a Thermarest. I've been a Thermarest user for a long time. Oh my gosh, you're getting snow in Canada? Please send me some snow. I was thinking yesterday, we haven't had any snow here and it's very sad. Just a bit too south. But there's lots of things accessible here, so I'll take it. Sending love and support from Middlesbrough. Thank you so much. You're a legend. Really grateful that you're here. Thank you for showing up. Let's have a look. Scrolling down. Are you also concentrating more on details now that our moves are limited? Details. Yes, details. Yes. I'm presuming that means like mindfulness and stuff. Absolutely. Well, I kind of do a lot anyway. Just always interested in learning. For me, I love seeing how the landscapes change through the seasons. It's really good as well. So what am I most grateful for today? So many things. I don't know if I mentioned before in these sessions, but I think, you know, more and more people are talking about gratitude practices, and I practice gratitude every day. Try and live from a place of gratitude and keep that as a foundation in how I live my life. There's always things to be grateful for, no matter how dark the space gets. There's always things to be grateful for. So before, basically, when I wake up, okay, let's start from the evening. So I go to bed, and as I fall asleep, I always think of three things that I'm grateful for. And I don't just think of what I'm grateful for, it's why. So there has to be a couple of sentences afterwards. So, what was last night? Okay, let's not do that. 3 things I'm grateful for right now. Okay, I'm really grateful for the internet right now, that I have access to the internet. Why? Because I can connect with you guys. We can do these sessions, help just spread some positivity, take an hour out of our days just to connect and just build community. Yeah, That's good. So that's one thing. Second thing I'm grateful for right now is that I actually have water and that we have a few taps in our house. I've just been reading, it's actually Alistair Humphrey's book from 2010, so it's quite old. Cycling Around the World is given to me, and he's talking about how he's in Sudan, you know, and queuing up with the women who are pumping the water. Takes them 2 days to get to the water pump, and then they carry on several donkeys the water back to their home and do that every other day. And he's sort of talking about how grateful he is to have taps in his house. And I think about water a lot anyway. I'm very trying to be conscious of how much water I'm using, but actually, yeah, I'm grateful to have taps and water in my house. And the third thing I'm grateful for is I'm grateful that right now I have a garden, that there's a green space, that there's birds around us, that we're in a good community, wonderful neighbors. I have plants. So yeah, those are the things I'm grateful for. So basically I go to bed and I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for, and when I wake up I write those things down. So basically I want them to stay with me for the duration of time that I'm unconscious, that I'm asleep, so they're processing, and I'm just like, I'm basically letting my body relax in the things that I appreciate. And then I wake up and I think about the things I'm grateful for as well, because I'm not going to lie, often dealing with my mental health, I wake up in a very vulnerable state, and I have to really get myself ready for the day, and that really helps me with that. So that's my little gratitude thing. This keeps jumping, so I apologize if I'm missing questions. I've never been hiking around Munich in Germany, though I have a friend who will probably take me there at some time very soon. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, top tip, outdoor station. It's really good. So Bob's just started doing live sessions as well. I know he had a conversation yesterday with Russell, the trail hunter, who's just come back off the PCT. He had to stop his hike. So you can listen to that, watch that, which is super cool. I haven't done that yet. Sorry, Bob, I'll be on it. I haven't done that in Scotland. I haven't done enough in Scotland. Let's just be honest with you. Have you thought about hiking in South America? Oh, I have. I have big visions for the channel, as I've said several times, and I've got this whole series that I really want to work on, and that partly includes South America. So yes, I have thought about it. Do you listen to Rob Bell's podcast? No, I don't. I'll check that out. Stop jumping, please. I'm trying to work here. Any plans to complete the Isle of Wight coaster path? I get asked that a lot. Not by foot, but by bike. Yes. In fact, I've done it by bike, but yes, I would like to. Would you ever think of doing your guided walks in a different part of the country so people... Yes, I think about that a lot. The only trouble is trying to basically make them feasible, because of course, if I'm coming north, then it's probably going to be, you know, at least half a day's traveling either side. And at the moment, they're like super cheap. Like I don't really make much money from them, which is fine. But you know, then plugging out extra days. So I have been thinking about that a lot. And they also, of course, need to be routes that I'm comfortable taking people on. But I have a couple in the Lake District that I'm prepared, and I've actually got the pages are ready to go. But of course, I'm just waiting to see what the year is going to look like. So please stay tuned. Hopefully have a weekend event in the Lake District at some point this year. Of course, if not this year, then there's always next year. Good thing. So yes, Stephen, thank you for that question. That's a very relevant question, and I'm doing my absolute best with that at the moment. Pilgrim's Way, I've got the book for that, so I'd like to definitely jump on that. I'm stealing the idea for... Please steal my ideas. Please feel free. You're not stealing. I'm gifting them to you. Even better. Receive the gift. You should check out the Ring of Steel walk next time you're in Scotland. Oh, I love the name of that. Ring of Steel. I think that would be fun. Have you done Sharp Edge on Blencathra? No, I haven't. We started to when I was a wee lass, but no, I've not got any further with that. Okay, cool. I'm going to have a look at Facebook. Oh, sorry, I was just completely like lost in technology then. What's the most bizarre but fun encounter you've had on your walks? Bizarre but fun. I did have fun when I was in Scotland on the West Highland Way, just like walking, and then randomly decided that I was going to it's very dirty, go on the oh dear, on the... What is going on here? Hang on, sorry, I'm causing trouble on my phone. I did have a lot of fun going on the ski lift rather spontaneously. That was exceptional fun. Like my inner child was just like, woo, this is the best thing ever. So, but it was not very bizarre. I think I do a lot of bizarre things, but I'm on my own, so it doesn't really matter. I'll think on that. I've been asked that question similarly a few times, and I haven't quite managed to remember things. I really struggle remembering things from the trail. If they're not on camera, they tend to disappear. And I get afraid often to reread my diaries because I go through a lot of dark times on the trail. But I'm going to commit to doing that. So hopefully next week I'll have some memories that I can share with you. Do you have a favorite species of tree? Yes, I do. Can you guess? Okay, pop in the side what you think my favorite species of tree is, and don't let me forget to answer that question before this conversation ends. Do I take more than one stave on a multi-take hike? I guess you're asking about the actual gas, and it depends. If there's somewhere I can pick one up on way, then I'll just carry one. If I can't, then I will carry two, or just be very careful. Oh, we got someone's got it. I'm gonna reveal the answer at the end. Okay, let's have a look. Whilst filming, particularly whilst walking, what techniques or technology do you use to reduce video camera shake? So at the moment I shoot on a Canon. No, I don't. Yes, I do. On the GoPro, that's what I was trying to say. Hero, is it 7? I think it's 7. I don't recommend the 7. So many glitches. I have 2. One ended up at the bottom of the ocean for approximately 8 hours, but more on that at another time. I suppose that's quite a bizarre story, but I can't tell you that yet because the Cleveland Way video isn't out, so watch this space. But yes, so GoPro 7 has got inbuilt stabilizer, which is actually half decent when it works. The other thing I do with my Canon and my phone is when I edit, I edit on Final Cut Pro, I can add a plugin which essentially stabilizes the footage. It's not always great. It tends to like warp it on the edges. So like out here, you can often see a bit of shake if you look carefully, but it does a job. So that's that question. Stabilizer. Oh, we've just had people join on Patreon. Hi, thanks for joining on Patreon. That's really exciting. I can't see who it is right now because Facebook's up, but that's cool. Welcome to the club, man. So good. What kit do you carry on a one-night camp, including food and water? Essentially, I just carry my usual hiking kit plus a tent and a bag and a mat. And then food, you know, I might just take a couscous packet. Depends how far. If it's far, I'll take a ration pack or something. And that's it. Nothing exceptional or different really from a day hike. There are so many amazing trails out there. Which one is sitting at the top of your list right now? And this is all over. There's so many at the top of the list. So many. If I was going to focus on the UK, I actually don't know because maybe something like the Thames Path. That's just randomly come into my consciousness recently. And I don't know why. I feel like I'm being called to the Thames Path. So perhaps there's a lesson for me on that trail waiting that I need to learn, or some inner journey I need to do, which is always a bit scary. But I don't know. As for the UK, but there's a lot outside the UK right now that I am so itching to do. It's unbelievable, but just gonna have to scratch that itch another day. Okay. When this is over, I'm going on my first wild camp. So any tips would be great. Wild camps. Yeah. So essentially you're looking for somewhere reasonably flat. If you're near a road, kind of away from a road, you want to be quite discreet. Obviously, you need to be able to get water, whether you carry water in or whether there's a water source nearby. Kind of learning to pitch into the wind. So say you've got a tunnel tent, you know, you want the wind to funnel over the tunnel tent as opposed to hit the big wall of fabric. That's just going to help with comfort and support the tent. And essentially, I would just encourage you to be confident. It can be quite intimidating as the sun goes down and then it's dark and you know that you're very much on your own. But I suppose the more time you spend camping outside, whether wild or not, you become familiar with the sounds of the night. So for me, I'm very, very tuned into sounds. And I know what things sound like. And if something is something that I don't know, that's when I get a little bit scared. But I know all of nature's sounds. So if there's something I don't know, it probably means it's coming from a human. And then I get like, not a fan of that. Just like, don't breathe. Just like, hide. But, you know, unless people have got a head torch, they won't be able to see you anyway. And if you don't want them to see you with a head torch, just take the reflective strips off your tent so you're good. But wild camping is usually pretty safe. Just always be respectful with wherever you're camping to the landowners. Oh my gosh, how have I talked for 40 minutes already? Okay. Any plans on documentaries on small animals like you did the one on this? Yeah, I did make a film on snails once. Snails are great. So yes, I'd like to do more. Oh, someone else has joined on Patreon. This is the best thing ever. You guys are amazing. Hi Mo, welcome to the club. And it's Fascination Street with Jimmy and Mika, who's joined on Patreons as well. So welcome guys to the tribe. You'll be getting a message from me after this. Yes, I'd like to do more on small animals, a lot of ID things. The thing is, I thought about doing a series on identification of birds, but actually trying to just like spend the days filming birds, like I don't really do that anymore. I used to spend a lot of my like, I don't know, adolescent years out and about filming wildlife, and I was thinking, for the sake of the current lockdown situation, like producing a film on how can we find wildlife, so how can we see some badgers and foxes and identify bats. And I am slowly working on that, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm usually in bed now as it starts to get dark because I'm so knackered, so filming badgers is a little bit difficult, but I will get out, so watch this space. I keep saying that about a lot of things. It's very difficult being just one person doing this thing, because there's so much I want to do, and editing takes up most of the time, so it's always a bit of a compromise between what can I do, what can't I do. But of course, if you're part of Patreon as well, you guys very much get priority call as to what order things come in, which is cool. Karen, 3 things I'm grateful for: fresh air after wearing a mask of day at work, a cup of tea, and seeing my grandson on FaceTime. That's lovely. And actually, Karen and everybody else right now who works within the NHS and the industries that are serving right now, I just want to say a very heartfelt and personal thank you. We see you, we appreciate you. You guys are amazing. You're keeping this country going during a very difficult time. And just thank you very much. What's the most weirdest thing you've witnessed on a walk? Again, similar question. I need to come back to that. I need to try and remember. It's probably been excluded from my mind for a reason. There's a surprising number of naked people out and about on the trail. I'm not going to lie. And on occasion, I have joined the club. Would you do Land's End Iguana Goats? Yes, I would. Would you do a coastal walk? Then we can wave as you pass through Deal and Kent. Basically, if there's a walk, I'm going to do it, to answer all your walking questions. There's so many walks to do. Snails rule. Yes, they do. Except when they eat all your stuff. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Okay. Please, can you say hi to Jamie and Natalie, Ironmonger? They've set up Adventure 999 group on Facebook, and that helps emergency services get out on adventures to help improve mental health. Now, that sounds exciting. I would really like to check that out, definitely. Is cereal a soup? Why not? I don't know. Is it a soup or would it be a stew? Surely it depends how like glunky it is. Glunky, is that a word? What's that word? Does anyone know that word? When is it that official word when you are watching boats on a canal? Is it gangoodling or something like that? That's a good word. Tell you what. Okay. When have you felt your biggest adrenaline rush? So many adventures, I can't think of them all anymore. I want to say when I was chased by a dinosaur, but that didn't happen to me. That was Jurassic Park. I'm like one of those people that gets so like involved in films. I think it happened to me. It didn't. Bobby, when was my biggest adrenaline rush? I can tell you a very sad story. We'll save that for another time. Those are 2 questions I want to come back to. Okay, so Louise asked, coping with anxiety and depression when outside becomes too much. How do I get outside when feeling overwhelmed? Lol, yeah, I know it's a tough question. I don't think that's a tough question. I think it's a very valid question and a very real and vulnerable question. And I want to thank you for that question. I'm not going to lie, part of why I feel slightly thankful for the current situation is because the sun comes out and I get very stressed because I know that I feel like I need to be outside filming, and on most days I actually don't feel able to even hit the trail. I can't count the number of times that I have driven, say, to Dartmoor, to Exmoor, to the coast, and I've just sat in the car, beautiful weather, perfect filming conditions. There's a walk I'm ready to do, everything's packed, and I just can't bring myself to do it. Because I just can't. The anxiety is too much, or I just feel too low or too flat, too vulnerable, too whatever. It doesn't even matter. Can't bring myself to do it. Number one thing I should say is be kind to yourself. It's very easy to be like, well, come on, this is a perfect opportunity. This is the day off, or this is whatever it is, But the truth is, if I had snapped my ankle, I wouldn't be forcing myself to go out there. In fact, I'd probably be even more cautious because I need it to heal, and I need to look after that. I need to nurture that. And so the same is with our minds. And I think whilst it is such a cliche analogy, you know, if you broke your leg, blah, 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 like it's so true. And I think it's on the Mental Health Foundation. I will see if I can find it actually, and share it with you next week. But when I did my mental health first aid course, there was a sort of what they called graphy thing, table that has stuck with me ever since. And essentially it took physical conditions and compared them to mental conditions and how they impacted us. And there was severe depression on the bottom. And the physical condition they were comparing it to was a severed spinal cord. And I'm never going to forget that, because seeing that not only blew my mind, but it also felt like it put into words how I feel when I'm really dealing with a proper deep depressive episode. I can't move. And that's basically the same as having severed spinal cords, you know, just the actual physical impact of that. And sort of as it went down the table, you know, in terms of the severity of the physical injury, comparing that to the mental condition, it was just exceptionally interesting. And it made me feel a lot more forgiving of myself. And I feel like actually I want to share that with you guys. So I just say be kind with yourself, reach out to others, do what you can. You know, we don't always have to be going on crazy adventures. We don't always have to be pushing our boundaries and pushing our bodies. And, you know, there's this whole say yes more thing, and this whole, you know, what's this? There's loads of movements, isn't there? And it's like, it's always talking about do more, be more, strive for more, destination happiness. And it's actually like right now, why can't we just stop and breathe and just be thankful? Because we are all enough, regardless of what we're doing. Right now, I think a lot of people are having to face the fact that we gain our sense of worth through what we're doing. And the thing is, we don't have to be doing anything to be worth anything. We are enough just as we are, whether we are doing or not, whether we're sat on the sofas in our pajamas on a hot sunny day, refusing to go outside, eating whatever you want to eat, just binge watching, I don't know, for me, probably like The Big Bang Theory or How to Train Your Dragon or something. Like, I am worth just as much doing that as I am shooting, you know, an epic mental health film or a documentary film or whatever it is that I'm doing. And it's exactly the same for you guys. It doesn't matter what we do. Just be. Human beings. It's that whole thing. I'm not such a fan of that, but it's true. Do you ever get nervous of attack from strangers in the middle of the moor? Not really. I have felt uncomfortable on a few moors, definitely. But again, it's just for me. I understand nature. It's such a comfortable space for me. I get nervous of where my mind goes. That for me is quite intimidating, but I just try and work with that as best as I can. And I'm just like, I don't understand how 46 minutes has just gone by. Would you rather be in the Sahara or the Arctic? Antarctic, Arctic, either way, the cold, to the cold, people, please, let's go. Do you listen to music whilst walking? What kind of music? Basically, it depends. I have a really old MP3 player, but I like a lot of indie stuff. I like a lot of chill step. I do like a good bit of rap here and there. All sorts of things, really. Do you see yourself living in the lakes? Probably. If not the lakes in Scotland. And do you know the thing is, man, like I like living here as well, down southwest, because there's so much accessible. All the people I love are here as well. I'd be very loath to leave the people I love. And home is where the heart is, right? So I'm a big believer in that, you know, and we're blessed that we live in the 21st century where we can travel. Obviously a little bit different right now. But I don't think it really matters where I live, so long as I'm close to people that matter to me. I can get the outdoors by accessing it slightly differently. I'd love to live in the lakes. Oh, the lakes is so good. Do you still run? No, I don't actually. I watch my knees way more. I think about running a lot. I miss running, but I don't run much. Have you had any experience? Sorry, you asked this before, didn't you? With the inner mesh tent insert for Hillyberg Act. I haven't used the inner mesh tent, but yes, I do get a lot of condensation. It's very common with the sort of 4-season tents anyway. Some people say carry a footprint, but they're heavy enough, so I don't. Terns fly to the... Yes, they do. Terns fly from the Arctic to the Antarctic. Always choose the colder option because you can put more layers on. That's very wise. Chill step. Is that like walking on ice? That's a fantastic comment. Thank you, Happy Wanderer. Okay. I'd never do a trail you haven't filmed. Your videos are invaluable. Oh, thank you. That's really kind for you to say. Could you remember helping that dog? Yes, I remember. I do remember helping that dog. So I'm presuming you're talking about the Bear Away in Ireland. Yes, there was a dog that I presumed was stray. It was tied up in the middle of nowhere, just horrible weather. Well, to find out more, watch the Bear Away video. But I remember that. And see, I didn't remember that if you hadn't said that comment, though. That doesn't even come to my mind when people ask questions. So thank you. I appreciate that. Have you ever thought about designing some nature and wilderness inspired, spend more time in the wild jewelry and making it available? I freaking love that idea. Thanks, CJ. That's a really good question. I have been working with my friend. We've been doing some sort of imprint stuff. Do you know what? If this goes over an hour, this goes over an hour. It's my channel. I can talk. Karen's on board. Hey, Karen, welcome to Patreon. This is so exciting, man. I love you guys so much. I want to cry, but I'm not going to cry. I don't cry in front of my closest friends, so I'm not going to cry. So jewelry, yes, I would think that's a fantastic idea. I'm super pumped about the whole merchandise thing. And what I love about the future, so many opportunities, but no, when it comes to producing more things, it's a chance to bring in local industries, local skilled people. The t-shirts, my friend Ellie prints them, obviously not at the moment though, and she was also helping me with some like keyring stuff. And basically, if you have skills that you feel like you could offer wild, please do not hesitate getting in touch, because I'm always on board basically building this, whatever it looks like. So sounds really cool. I love that idea. I'm lost and I'm found. Why is that in my head? Oh, I know why that's in my head. I'm about to move to Scotland. That's very cool. Have fun in Scotland. Enjoy. If animals could talk, which would be the rudest? Well, judging by the Lion King, warthogs. Which would be the rudest animal? What a question. I did not anticipate waking up to that question in my life today. Probably something, I don't know, magpies have got a lot to say for themselves, haven't they? I'm trying to think, let's think British animals for the simplicity's sake. Weasels. Weasley weasel. I don't know the answer to that question. I might have to put a Facebook post out on that. Please remind me of that question. That's a fantastic question, and I'm going to take that very seriously. Do you have a favorite brand of sleeping pad? Not really, but Thermarest have been serving me very well recently. Rudest animal is your Westie. Please do a video on basic hiking camping gear. Yeah, for £100. A lot of people have asked me to do that. The only reason why I haven't done that is partly funding it, but also I'm not, how do I phrase the sentence, man? Yeah, it's essentially funding it. And I'm, with regards to cheaper kit, there's so many ways you could go. Whereas you get higher, it's like a pyramid. So you get higher up to the more expensive stuff. And there's like a lot less brands. Sort of down at the bottom, there's a lot of good stuff for a little bit of money. So it's I don't want to sort of push people in one direction, especially when I don't have any, sort of sponsorship connections and stuff. So that's partly the reason why I haven't, but it is on my list to do, and I will make that at some point. Okay, please use crystals. Why not? Crystals are fun. Okay, let's just go through the last questions. Is that a question? I like this question. Okay. Oh, happy birthday, Gary. Happy birthday to you. He says, this is totally a complete surprise that you choose to spend part of my birthday with me. Lol. Thank you ever so much. You're the best. Bless you. So are you. Take us back to your very first solo camping and #wild camp. What was some of your apprehensions and how did you manage them? So first solo trip, and actually I've wanted to be doing a film on this for a while as well. Also. Is my first solo trip, I think, was actually walking around the Isle of Wight. So that was the first time I was on my own. And I had a lot of heavy gear. I wasn't particularly nervous. I remember being super pumped as I crossed on the ferry. Well, I don't really have a lot to say about that because I want to hold it for the film as well and have a bit of a conversation about that. But yeah, first wild camping experience. Where would that have been? I certainly didn't wild camp on my own for the first time. And that's something else I would encourage, actually. If you're going to wild camp for the first time on your own, wild camp with somebody else. It sort of keeps it a little bit... let's just see that comment from Dave. Yeah, it just helps it feel a little bit more manageable. I think it was probably it really I didn't have my first camping experience until I was 18. So I'm 23 now. So a whole 18 years of my life I did not camp. What even is that? I asked my parents that. I was like, dude, what were you thinking? And they were like, I'm like, useful, useful. Oh look, Gary, you're getting lots of happy birthdays. That's nice. So wild camping, yes, camp with somebody else. I don't really have a lot to say about that right now. I'll work on that. I don't have a lot to say, really, do I? I have a lot to say, but it's not really worth anything. How long? So Mike is asking, if you had a 2-hour walk with no filming involved, how much extra would you add for filming? It depends. It can be usually. I mean, I do spend a lot of time filming. It also depends on where my mindset's at, because actually, I think you'd be surprised, especially the like final pieces to camera or the introduction pieces, or when I'm trying to talk about something interesting and I've got a little bit of a script in my head, it can take multiple takes. And the funny thing is, I'm just finishing editing The Rob Roy Way still. And there's so many, well, for one, there was like 9 takes. And then there was another piece, there was like 7 takes. And every time I just took the first one because it was always the best. So I've definitely learned something from that. But yes, filming does add on a lot of time. And I think people who do on occasion, who I've walked with on the trail, have found my walking. I'm a fast walker, but it's slow because I'm always stopping to film. I always film things. If it's something I like, I'm filming it. Simple as that. Okay, let's have a look. Right, last 2 questions. 1 question. B, hi B, is asking, walking long distance solo, both in general and specifically as a female. I do a lot of solo sailing and feel completely safe at sea, so it's not a question of being alone. I've been put off long distance walking and more specifically wild camping solo because of my probably completely unfounded fears of someone coming on me when I'm asleep or unprepared. I got followed through the New Forest by a group of lads once whilst out running, and it hasn't really helped to get my head around it. Luckily, I came out on a road and met a lovely couple who gave me a lift in their car. Do you experience this fear? If so, how do you cope with it? And you don't need to read the rest of it. How do I cope with that fear? I do feel that fear. Basically, I'm scared of people, man. So yes, there are times that I have felt very vulnerable around people, but usually it tends to happen in more urban areas. I just naturally feel more apprehensive anyway. But as I've mentioned before, there have been times where I have definitely been followed, and it's not a very fun feeling. I am quite good at pretending to be on the phone now. And actually, on that occasion, when I felt like I was being followed, I did pretend to ring somebody and say quite loudly, I think I'm being followed. And that shook them off, which was cool. The thing is, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. But comfortable doesn't necessarily mean we ever become complacent. Safety is always first. And I think it's just something you need to think about, and think about if it's something you really want to challenge and work on, then how can you address that step by step by step? And if it is camping with somebody and building it up through there, then, well, no, B, you're a pretty good wild camper. But yeah, essentially just giving it a shot and counseling yourself through it. And then once you come out the other side, being like, okay, how did that go? And just being able to draw on all of those experiences every time. So for you, B, you're a sailor, you feel safe at sea. That's how I feel on land. I wonder for you, how did you feel, or how did anybody feel if there's something you do on your own and you feel totally comfortable in, but somebody else would look into that situation and be like, wow, that's pretty bold. Like, how did you feel the first time you did that? So went out on the boat or go out on the bike or whatever it is that you're doing. Essentially, it's the same with backpacking. It's no different. It's just taking experience and building on that as much as possible. Okay, I'll just have a quick scan through and see if I've missed anything. Can you send a shout out to my friend Matt? Hi, Matt. Shouting out from the rooftops. Whoop, whoop. Do you get nervous being a woman out there when you hike on your own? Not really. I really don't, if I'm honest with you. I do get a lot of people coming up to me. They're like, oh, you with anyone? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, you're brave. I'm like, not really. And they're like, oh, you're stupid. I'm like, probably. No, I don't think so. I think there's so much fear mongering out there. Of course, like, the truth is there is a threat. There is a very real risk. You are vulnerable. But, I'm very conscious of where I tell people I'm going or what I tell people I'm doing. Although last year a lot less so, actually. But I just don't hold those fears. And if those fears come up, then I let them be there. But fear isn't going to be in the driving seat of my life, unfortunately. Like, occasionally it sneaks in and it tries to fiddle with the radio and it makes a bit of noise. But it gets kicked out right into the back straight away. Fear is there. Fear is a healthy emotion or feeling and experience. So there's no point in ever denying fear, but just be conscious of where it's steering you. That's all I have to say. Okay, last couple things. I keep saying that. I'm going to go for approximately 45 seconds. Come on. Do you ever feel like planning a hike just for you without filming? Yeah, I think about that a lot, but I don't do it. It's something I'm working on. Basically how to live my life without the camera being there. Because growing up, we were always like videoed and photographed anyway. It's just something I'm not used to, and I need to do that. More things that are like downtime and personal time for me. Okay. Why would someone follow you in the wilderness? I don't know. Maybe they were lost. I probably should just ask them. Excuse me, man. You're right over there. you got a problem. You want to try on the hat? All right then. Oh yeah, favorite tree. Okay, drum roll. That was a really bad drum roll. I wish that was a hand pan. Do you know those things? That's been my latest obsession. Look, we've crossed an hour. Those hand pan music things, like it's my biggest dream right now is to get one of those, and just I could be sat here like playing a tune to you guys. That would be fun. Okay, favorite tree is silver birch. I freaking love silver birches. They're so beautiful. I love the wind through the leaves. I love the color of the golden leaves again in winter. I love the bark, which is silver, and you can cut it or get it from dead wood, and it's really oily and it's a great tinder. I love silver birch, but I love all trees. Oak trees, I think it's a true fact that it takes 40 years for an oak tree to grow, and it will only be after 40 years that they'll produce an acorn. So that's interesting. But yeah, silver birches are my favorite. Okay, so don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, now that I'm officially being burnt by the sun, take a picture of this live screen and share it on your social medias. Tag Spend More Time in the Wild, just to help share the stuff. And before we leave and wrap this up, we are going to do a little meditation, mindfulness thing after this as well, just to end it. But 1 second. Don't take a picture now. Shoot, where was I going with that? Oh, yes. I'd love for you guys to always offer feedback for me. Please feel free to connect with me. Drop me a message on Facebook or Instagram. If there's anything you feel like wild we could be putting out there just to offer support during these difficult times, just want to make sure I'm really showing up for you guys. And if I'm missing out on anything, then please let me know. Okay, so I'm going to... is it possible to buy a Stay Wild t-shirt? Not at the moment, but very soon, once things start to get back to normal, they will be available. And now I'm going to blank that because we're going to wrap this up. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the wild community. Thank you for just being, you know, life is difficult right now. It feels slow yet fast. There's a bit of a whirlwind. It's heavy. It's difficult. It's, you know, I don't know what the situation with any of you guys is where you are, but I'm sure that many are going through sort of difficult struggles that perhaps weren't anticipated. And I just basically want to wrap this up with a body scan. So last week we did, was it last week? Or a week before? Oh gosh, I'm losing track. We did a loving kindness meditation, and we did some box breathing. Oh no, box breathing was Patreon. So we did box breathing as well. And I just want to finish with a body scan. So some people might find this a little bit uncomfortable, but essentially, all we're going to do is just start by just sitting nice and steady. Ideally, with your feet flat on the floor, we want to just feel nice and grounded with the earth. If you feel comfortable, just shutting your eyes. So being burnt by the sun right now. So just shutting your eyes and just focusing in on your breath as we do. We're just consciously slowing everything down. So we are going to do a body scan. I'm going to do this really, really quickly. But if you have got time after this session, I just want to encourage you to actually focus more in detail on your body. Yeah, so when you're ready, then we're just going to take a nice deep breath in. So just filling the lungs, breathing in, and then breathing out. Good job, nice and steady. Let the air go completely out, and then we're going to breathe in again. And then breathing out. And each time as we breathe in, just being aware of any tension points in our body, breathing in. And then trying to let that tension go. And if we can't quite let that tension go, just trying to breathe into it. And then we're just settling into our natural pace of breath now. Just keeping the focus on the breath. And then basically to do a body scan, what we're going to be doing is we're going to start from the top of our head, and we're just going to bring our attention to the top of our head. And again, just making a note of any points of tension. So as I say, we're going to do this body scan really, really quickly. Usually, for example, the head, we look at the forehead, we look at the top of the head, we look at the back of the head, we look at the ears, we look at the face and the chin and the neck, and we'd work our way right down the body in that much detail. But I'm literally just going to take like limb for limb right now, because I'm aware people have got things to get on with. So we're just focusing on our head now and trying to just keep breathing into it. Any points of tension we can feel, just feeling the muscles in our face, trying to help everything relax, feeling nice and calm. We're going to move down our neck, any tension there, moving down to the shoulders, just trying to breathe into that tension, nice and slow, nice and steady, and work our way down the arms now, through our biceps, our triceps, through the elbow, through the forearm, down into the fingers. Just gently wiggle the fingers if that's helpful for you. And then we're going to come right up to the chest now. So in the chest and the upper back, just working our way down the torso, feeling into any tension as we're breathing nice and steady. As I say, I'm going super quick right now, but just because I just want to give you a rough idea. Working right down through the torso, through to the stomach, breathing nice and deep, through to the hips, down to the lower back, and then into our glutes, so our bottom, and then through the legs. So we're starting with our quads and our hamstrings, so the front and the back of our legs, just feeling into any tension points we've got, breathing into these big muscles there, down into our knees, to our shins and our calves, and down to the heel and through the toes. I'm feeling, once again, our feet connected to the ground, feeling grounded, feeling calm. Nice deep breath in. And then breathing out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Oh my gosh, sunshine. So there we go. Super easy. As I said, it was a really, really quick body scan because I just wanted to give you a rough idea of how that works. So if you have got time after this, I really recommend doing that properly. Nice and slow, nice and steady, breathing into all the different parts of your body. It's a really good thing to do actually when you wake up. First thing. Just sort of get connected with your body and connected to the earth as well. I quite like ending on the feet because it's just, back to the ground, and we're all parts of the same space, same planet. We're all on this big rock together. So let's do this thing. All right, guys, before I officially get blinded, I just want to say once again, thank you for being here. That's going to be me signing out. Hope to see you same time next week, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, Wednesday. Be there. All right, let's finish this thing. Checking out and stay wild. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.